On this welterweight matchup.
Fight fans, we are set to go with our next bout this evening. 8 rounds scheduled in the welterweight division. Presented by Golden Boy Promotions with our sponsors Corona Extra, La Cerveza Más Fina, and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. The 3 judges scoring this bout at ringside: Billy Ray, also Mike Streisand, and Rocky Young. When the bell rings, referee in charge of the action, Frank Santor Jr. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the colors of his homeland of Ghana, red, green, and gold. He weighed in officially 147 pounds and brings a perfect record that stands at 16 victories, no defeats, and 8 wins, coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Brooklyn, New York, by way of Accra, Ghana, here is the undefeated Emmanuel Ice Cold Lartey. And next, his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the colors of the USA, red, white, and blue. He weighed in officially 146 3/4 pounds and also brings a perfect record, standing at 8 victories, no defeats, and 7 big wins, coming by way of knockout. Here is a 2012 U.S. Olympic boxer from Dallas, Texas, the undefeated Errol the True Spence Jr.
Give me a shirt, let's go. Here we go.
All right, guys, going over all the rules in the dressing room. Got all the rules down, all right? Your trunks are both about where they're supposed to be. Keep your blows here or above, all right? I say break, take a step back and break, stop punching. Questions? Questions? Good luck, fellas.
Welterweight action scheduled for 8 from here at the BB&T Center in Sunrise, Florida. Ice Cold Emmanuel Lartey is what they call him, from Ghana. And, you know, when you read about him and they talk about him, they're actually comparing him to the greatest Zuma Nelson, the greatest African boxer ever, who had those exciting victories over Wilfredo Gomez from Puerto Rico. But we'll have to see about that. But, you know, Spence might be in for a tough test in his 9th professional fight. You see Spence in the red, white, and blue trunks. Actually silver.
I think any fighter from Ghana, a lot of times you're going to have the, you know, all this right away. You're going to make those comparisons. Can he match up to the talent of Zuma Nelson? You know, body language here shows that Lartey came to win. So we'll see if Spence can change his mind about that if he hits him with anything solid.
We got 2 left-handers in the ring, so it was always a concern sometimes because they don't see that very often. There'll be some cause for concern with headbutts and that type of thing. Lartey comes out pumping the jab. Very stockily built, very compact. You can tell he's in great shape. He's watched tape on Spence. He knows what he's in against, and he knows what he could do if he pulled off a huge upset tonight and putting his name out there in the welterweight division.
Absolutely. A win for either guy tonight, because it's a step up for both of them, really pushes them a lot further into their career than probably any of their wins prior to tonight.
Lartey just had a victory over an undefeated prospect, Jonathan Batista, in Atlantic City at the Tropicana. A unanimous decision in a 6-rounder. Batista out of the Dominican Republic, who went on to lose to Kermit Citron. But you could tell he's a skilled fighter, and sometimes, like we said, the guys that come from the African continent, they're hard to gauge. They're always tough. And he won the African Boxing Union Championship, the light welterweight title in 2007, beating Kaiser Mabuza. So he's one of the best from that continent and looking to make his way over here. Over the top, missing was Spence right there. Spence being very patient and being cautious. He knows he's in against a tough fighter.
Yeah, as is Lartey, boxing on the back foot and trying to see if he can lure Spence in. So both guys right now having a bit of a chess match with their jabs, trying to see if they can make the other one bite.
Whoa, big right, big left hand over the top. And you see Lartey holding on. I think he got hit right there and hurt, Paulie. Well, he grabbed his leg right there. I mean, that was a big shot. And you see Lartey holding, and down he goes, grabbing on and holding on.
Oh, Spence kind of used his forearms there and
he kind of forced it
into his neck. Smart move by Lartey, though. I'll tell you, man. He grabbed Spence by the leg when he hit him with a solid left hand. It prevented Spence from following up.
He's got Lartey's attention now. wobble going backwards, a little bit off balance there. I don't think that was from a punch so much when Spence was off balance. But Lartey's bringing on the heat here. 12 seconds left in this welterweight fight scheduled for 8. And you see the power of that left hand for Spence right there in the first round. Now they're going to fight right to the end, and Lartey holding on. Like you said, a veteran move right there. It got Lartey's attention. He's got an angry look now.
Do you want to win this fight? Do you want to win this fight? Stop backing up. Come on. Start going forward. You got to start going forward.
Everything else will come. Keep it in with the gap. Pop, pop, pop. You're going to open up. Bang, over top. Bam. You got to shorten up. You're getting a little too wide with it, okay?
Derek James in his corner there.
First round.
Take a look at some of the action, Paulie.
Yeah, here's how you see Spence set up the great left hand right after a double jab, and you see Lartey grab him by the leg. Smart move because it prevented Spence from following up and maybe getting a real knockdown. And here, you see in the next
little
clinch,
forearm.
Spence is trying to make room, you know? I mean, both guys, I mean, doing what they're supposed to there. Lartey kind of needed the break after taking the left hand, and Spence wanted to create room so he can continue to follow up. So, you know, it's a fight, man. Sometimes it gets rough.
Lartey comes out round number 2, scheduled for 8 this welterweight fight. Pumping that jab, picking up the pace a little bit for him. I believe he was stung by the hard left hand from Errol Spence in that first round. And now he has picked up the heat. But he's going to get backed up if he gets careful.
Well, the thing, Harry Keat in the corner of Lartey told him, don't back up, stop backing up. So if he starts coming forward, Spence is looking to come forward. We can get some fireworks here. Levi Smith, on the other hand, in the corner of Spence, told him to keep opening up Lartey with the jab and setting up those power shots after the jab.
That wicked left hand lands again. You see Lartey holding on. As Paulie pointed out, it's a veteran move so that Spence can't follow up.
Yes, it seems like Spence is landing the initial power shot. He's starting to find a home for it. Now it's a matter of can he get the follow-up.
Left up top, downstairs with a right. Letting his hands go as Lartey covers up on the ropes. Not a good spot for him to be in. You let Spence tee off, and he will. It's hard to judge that power that Spence has, but you can tell it when it lands.
Yeah, and again, this is a guy in Lartey, like we said before, undefeated record, so he's not going to go out with the first power shot he gets hit with. But Spence continuing to try to pile it on. Lartey's going to have to make some adjustments here and try to figure out how to open Spence up for his own offense, because right now it's been Spence landing the better shots.
Lartey came to the United States in 2011 knowing that he had new worlds to conquer if he could. I don't know if he anticipated that this quickly he would be in against such a top prospect as Spence, but of course you'll take it when you can get it in this business. And there's a lot on the line for him to keep him undefeated, the African fighter, and prove that he belongs over here amongst this type of competition. A great opportunity for him.
Well, you know, it was an opportunity for him. He's got twice as many professional fights as Errol Spence. So, you know, it's a calculated risk by he and his advisors and managers. Actually, Ron Scott Steven handles Lartey. There you go. Again with Spence opening up.
Spence digging into the body, took one right there on the hip bone, but he's not afraid to get in there tight and do the damage. Oh, over the top with the left hand, right hand. Right hook over the top. Lartey does a wise move and steps away from the ropes at this point. 17 seconds left in round number 2. And glad you're watching Golden Boy Boxing on Fox Sports 1. Listening into the corner between rounds, Paulie, ice cold's corner over there, Lartey. They want him to pick it up, and they're threatening to stop the fight. I don't know why they do that. It's just a motivation factor. They just want him to really pick up the pace, and I don't know how you do that when you're getting hit with the rights and the lefts that he's getting hit with.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a lot tougher to get you to be when you're the one taking the shots from a hard puncher like Errol Spence to, you know, be as aggressive as they'd like Lartey to be in the corner. But he's going to have to figure out a different way here, a different tactic or something, make an adjustment and try to get to Spence somehow.
Well, he's not throwing a real, there's the pump and the jab a little bit there, but it's not effective. It's more of a measuring type jab as he tries to work his way in, but he's mostly going backwards. And Spence is on the prowl right now. Big left hand. Tonight's CompuBox stats are brought to you by ThrowdownFantasy.com. Draft fighters, track stats, and win. Frank Satori warning about the extracurricular there inside with the elbows. Oh, left hand just caught Spence right there. He took it, but that was an awkward angle, and it caught Spence. And here he comes back, though. No worse for the wear.
And he answered right away, kind of to show to Lartey that did nothing to him. That was Lartey's chance to really try to follow up with something, but instead Spence followed up with the aggression.
More of an elbow that caught him right there, too, and that's what I began to think. When you get a frustrated fighter, you start getting elbows and shoulder shoves and all that kind of stuff. And you, as a pro, you got to be ready for it, Paul.
Yeah,
right?
and regardless, I mean, it still landed pretty hard, whatever it was.
It still hurts.
You know, so the fact that Spence came right back and fired his thunder instead of what should have been Lartey following up, you know, it's kind of a mental statement he makes to his opponent. Like, hey, man, that's not going to work on me. I'm still going to come pummel you.
He's got Lartey in the corner right now, digging into the body. Digging downstairs once again. Lartey weakly answering. Not much behind it. If you stay there, Spence will eat you up. Although he is respectful of Lartey at this point. He's got the right distance, Paulie. Just outside of Lartey. Whatever he's trying. The left hand that landed right there.
Sometimes Lartey pulls in a way where he's actually in the crossfire of that straight left hand. He makes it easier for Spence to set him up for it.
Two of those punches got through the gloves. Lartey wisely sachets to the side right now, down the ropes to get away from the corner. Still holding that left hand dangerously low, because we know that Spence's power shot is the left hand. Final seconds left in round number 3. It's been a good pace in this welterweight fight. Very enjoyable to watch these guys work. And Spence is having to learn a few lessons about fighting a guy that's bringing it tonight, everything he has, Lartey. So this has not been easy work compared to the last 4 fights where first round knockouts at all for Spence.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to have to do some rounds tonight. And, you know, sometimes they're not always easy knockouts.
Giving away the round, you really losing big time. You need a knockout to win this fight. You know what I'm saying?
There's some action from that last round with Lartey throwing that counter left hand, but it was so late that it kind of misses and ends up catching Spence with the elbow.
Now, Spence is known for his body work.
And there you go. Speaking of the body work, Spence kind of backing up Lartey to the ropes and throwing a couple of shots to the body there.
It's been high-paced. We're heading to round 4, scheduled for 8. Whether or not it'll make 8 is anybody's guess. These are welterweights. Emmanuel Lartei in the red trunks with the green and gold trim. Silver, blue, and red is Errol Spence Jr. fighting out of Dallas, Texas. And, you know, he's moving into deeper water than he's accustomed to as a pro right here, too, into the 4th round. And he's been taking care of 7 of his 8 fights, been knockouts early. So, you know, this is a learning experience for Spence. We'll see, you know, if he can dig down. Brilliant amateur career, so he knows what he's doing.
This is all part of the making the steps to getting into the top of the sport. You know, you need these kind of fights. You know, you go rounds, durable guys who come to win. And Spence is taking the play away from Lartey consistently in every round, and that's all you can do. If your guy doesn't go anywhere, keep beating on him.
Nice left hand there. Tried an uppercut inside. Lartey swinging wildly and missing. Spence digging the right hand body shot, comes back with a left hand body shot. They tie up right here, but look at Spence work downstairs. Caught a little bit of a right there, but was nothing behind it.
Lartey always seems to be not at the right distance offensively. He's either too close and smothering himself or too far and coming up short. You know, it could be a product of Spence's jab keeping him off balance, but, you know, Lartey's going to have to make some kind of adjustment in order to land his offense at his distance and not be at Spence's distance all the time.
Lartey looking like the more weary of the fighters at this point because he has absorbed more punishment, and that will take the steam out of you in terms of endurance.
Absolutely.
Nice work right there from Spence, coming from different angles, throwing different kinds of punches. He's like chopping down a tree at this point, isn't he?
Yeah.
Lartey's in great shape, but he's getting a lot of punishment on those inside punches right there. Paulie can tell you about those belt line punches.
And no, even Spence is in great shape because he's really putting in the work in this round.
Well, he knew what he was coming up against in this fight, and frankly, looking forward to it, to have a step up in competition compared to what he's seen.
You know, that's the thing, you know, taking punishment makes you tired, but also dishing punishment makes you tired. So you got to be in shape to give it as well as take it. Yeah, this is the kind of opponent that Spence needs at this point in his career. He's getting too many easy knockouts. You run the risk of kind of going stale or getting stagnant. This is the kind of guy.
Right hand.
And there's a good shot.
Nice right hand from Spence right there.
This is the kind of guy you get to work on your entire arsenal. And,
he's certainly thrown it. And, you know, like I said, you were talking about the final seconds of this round. We'll talk about this a little more. Another good round for Errol Spence. You're watching Golden Boy Boxing on Fox Sports 1. Round number 5 in this welterweight matchup. Errol Spence Jr. in the red, white, and silver trunks, taking on Emmanuel Lartei in the red, gold, and green. It's been high-paced action. It's been good work for Spence. You can tell there's a talent gap, but not a determination gap, as Lartei's still in there, and he's taken a lot of shots. And the learning curve has increased considerably for Spence in his 9th professional fight.
You see Lartei with the front hand down slip there. You see he's got his lead hand down. He's just pawing with the jab. It's almost like a counter puncher's mentality, but he's not shooting the counters the way he should. And he allows Spence to get off and really doesn't make him pay.
Well, we figured Lartei would be tough. It's just a matter of matching up the skill level. He doesn't have the power or the speed of Spence, but he's certainly got the determination. Snuck it on the left hand right there.
Of course, a good left hand by Spence.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's almost like he's trying to lure Spence in, but lure him into what? You know, he's got to set that trap and then actually pull the trigger.
Great point. He lures him in, there's nothing behind it.
There it is again. He's pulling the jab, looking to lure Spence in.
Tying up right now, knowing that Spence is going to be bringing some heat behind that. We're in the 5th round and scheduled for 8. We'll test the conditioning right about now, too, as much as Spence has been throwing in there. Left hand over the top from Lartei, but he hasn't won a round, obviously, Paulie.
Yeah, but you know, at least a left hand like that shows Spence that he's a live guy, he's still there, and he's not ready for the taking quite yet. So keep Spence on his P's and Q's and keep him sharp.
Back in head.
Don't punch. Break. Let him go. Come on, guys.
You gotta get back in the tight deep. Walk him down behind the jab. Tight deep. Come on.
50 seconds left in round number 5. Briefly there, Lartei had some effectiveness.
Yeah, a couple of great exchanges in this round. Lartei showing me some life, but again, he looks to hold in the clinches.
Frank Sartori's been pretty busy as the 3rd man in the ring tonight. He's keeping a sharp eye right now on Lartei. You never can tell how much damage a fighter can suffer, but he's not really been wobbled at all. He's been hit hard.
I think Lartei's shown the most effort out of the whole fight for him thus far this round. I don't know if he's won the round, but he's gone for it more this round than he has in previous rounds.
Let's go.
They got some water in the corner over in Lartei's corner, and now they're back in action right here. Round number 6. Lartei's corner told him that he only had 2 rounds left. That'd be incorrect. There's 3 rounds left, counting this one, if it goes that far.
Maybe they wanted to pick up the pace faster.
Humping the right hand. Tonight's CompuBot stats are brought to you by ThrowdownFantasy.com. Draft fighters, track stats, and win. Holly, going into the 6th round, how do you think Spence has adjusted to what he's faced here? He hasn't been careless. He hasn't, fallen in love with trying to knock this guy out. He's been working him down as much as he can.
Yeah, you like to see that a guy like Spence, who's gotten used to knocking guys out, not getting careless in order to try to get the knockout. He's resigning himself to the fact that he may have to work for this knockout, and he knows he's in good enough shape to try to get it. And if he doesn't, well, he's in good enough shape to go the distance. And so you like to see that maturity and poise in a fighter.
He just clipped a left hand over the right ear of Lartey right there. And these quick exchanges here, Lartey has not been on the ropes as much as he was before. This is a small ring tonight, by the way, 18 feet. If you had a couple of heavyweights in there, they'd have nowhere to go. So these are welterweights. Left hand, nice job. As Spence is really working on him right here. If he's content to be up against those ropes, which before the fight they're out here checking him, the referees were concerned they might be a little bit loose, and that can happen, Paulie, sometimes when you set up these rings. The ropes can be a little bit loose. And,
left hand.
Yep, nice left hand.
Nothing loose about that left hand.
No, that was tight. You see the confidence and the spring in Errol Spence now. He knows he's winning this fight, and he'll take it if he can get it, an opportunity to land the big shot. But he's being patient.
Yeah, it's all an experience here, and the experience you get is going the rounds, trying to open up a guy who, you may have frustrated into stopping. He stopped trying to win. Lartey a lot of times, good left hand by Spence. A lot of times just closing up, not opening up as much as he should. He might be resigned to trying to go the distance. So it's a matter of, can you get him to open up a little more and try to get him out of there?
There he goes. He's got the flurry going. Lartey up on his toes, but he's not landing anything. Throwing a little bit of a heart of a jab, trying to get out of there, but the crowd likes it when Errol Spence lets his hands go and throws the big punches. And you see the referee taking a close eye at Lartey right now to see how effective those punches have been.
Lartey throws that double left jab a lot and then doesn't follow it up with anything else. He might want to try at least a straight left hand to the stomach or something, just to give Spence something to think about. He kind of just tosses it out there, and there's a good left hand by Spence.
And he just got clipped with the left hand right there, too.
This round now over 30 seconds long. The timekeeper might have fell asleep.
Did the timekeeper fall asleep? We're moving up on a 4-minute round here, folks.
So really test the conditioning of both guys.
Well, Spence is able just to wear him down at this point. We're heading a 4-minute round. We've got a problem with the timekeeper. We just got the 10-second warning from the timekeeper.
A minute late.
A minute late. Well, you see a little bit of everything in this sport, folks. And there's finally the bell. We ran out of clock, Paulie. We only got a 3-minute clock.
Yeah, we only get 3 at a time.
Yeah.
The timekeeper was on a different clock.
Well, he's gotten a jolt. Tomorrow, catch an all-new episode of the show critics are calling Brutally Honest and the most revealing portrait of Mike Tyson yet. If you think you know him, think again. Don't miss an all-new episode of Being Mike Tyson tomorrow at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Fox Sports 1.
When you walk in,
A couple of replays here from the last round. You watch Spence move his way in behind the jab and then a sharp straight left hand with Lartey. And here's your counter left hand over the top of the jab by Lartey. Lartey's jab becoming kind of repetitive in the way he throws it. It's not rhythmic. He's not changing the pace on it. So you start to be able to, get the timing down on him and be able to counterpunch him.
Well, I mentioned that Lartey came in great shape, but you can see it's been attrition so far. He doesn't really have that left hand is not effective at all as it jabs. And Spence, you know, a good way to close this show is if he could get him out of there. I wouldn't be surprised if he does. But Lartey's shown a pretty good chin. We still haven't, Spence's chin still really hasn't been tested in his professional fights yet, so he hasn't really gotten hit by any really hard shots.
Yeah, Lartey's landed 1 or 2 shots here and there. Maybe the elbow might have been the best shot.
Yeah, the best shot was the elbow.
But it's not deterred Spence at all.
Looping right hook upstairs. Lartey retreating once again and ties up. And in round number 7, he may be a little bit in survival mode at this point. Laying against the ropes, covering up, and getting hit.
That's the thing. A guy like Spence will take the fight out of you. So it's a matter of has Lartey decided to just try to go the distance, or will he still continue to try to win? And that's what we're trying to figure out here at this point. You know, it's up to him now to try to throw that offense because he can't win on points anymore. He's got to go for the KO. Is he willing to risk that against a power puncher like Errol Spence?
Still gets another body shot. Does Spence right there, right on the belt line. Continues to walk Lartey down. Lartey's got the reverse gear going, and he's run out of room over there in the corner. And Spence usually pounces, what he's doing right here. He's just pounding away to the body and the belt line right there.
That's it. You just got to keep working. I mean, if Lartey won't punch back, just keep hitting him.
He's like punching the heavy bag right here. He might crumple up if he stays right there. Oh, got clipped with a left hand and a right hand. Oh, 2 good punches inside, right through the gloves right there. Errol Spence got to be careful not to punch himself out here, but if the opportunity is there, he's going to keep punching, Paulie.
Lartey's got to get himself off the ropes is what he's got to do. I mean, I don't know why he's continuing to stay there. Even when Spence takes a step back, Lartey doesn't oblige and step around. He just stays on the ropes, and it's like he thinks he's got Spence where he wants him. Anytime Spence has him where he wants him.
Lartey's frustrated at this point and he's lost all semblance of having a game plan. 50 seconds left in round number 7. I mean, he's taken a lot of punishment from Errol Spence Jr. tonight. But you got to give Spence credit. He hasn't made any mistakes to allow Lartey back in this, because that's a lot that has to do with the fact that Lartey was sitting on the ropes for a minute.
Of course, and still sharp defensively. You know, when Lartey does show some life and throws some shots, you know, Spence is on it, and his radar detects it. He slips it.
20 seconds left, round number 7. Scheduled for 8, welterweight fight.
Good body shot by Lartey there.
Sometimes you got to work hard, and tonight, ooh, that's a nice another body shot right there.
In a round Spence had dominated right at the close. Lartey hits him with a good hook and makes his legs buckle. Spence got it right out of there. Definitely a shot that seemed like Errol Spence felt. Would have been interesting to see if there was more time for Lartey to follow up. But let's see if Lartey goes for broke here in the last round.
Well, he's trying to. He's letting his hands go. And in Spence's corner, they were warning him, don't lure yourself, or let him lure you into a spot where you're going to get caught like you did at the end of that round. You're winning the fight. You're winning on points. Sometimes you got to take what you can get and not do anything stupid. So we'll see the last 2:20 of this fight in the welterweight ranks.
And for the first time all night, Spence is backing up in this round.
Exactly.
So I don't know if he's still trying to recover from the shot, or if he's just taking the game plan and, like the corner said, and say, hey, man, don't take too many chances. You're winning.
Pretty good left hand for Spence right there to get out of it. This is a Lartey we haven't seen in the first 7 rounds. Here he is coming on, and a more effective jab and working his way in, cutting off the space and cutting the ring off.
Yeah, he's actually stepping
forward
strongly so that he can get to Spence with the left hand after the double jab. Where was this Lartey, like you said?
He wasn't here for the first 7 rounds, I can tell you, but look at this guy. Cutting off the ring, and got to remember, deep waters for the fighter. Night professional fight for Spence, going the distance of an 8-rounder right here against a guy who refused to go down, although he landed a lot of punches. But Paulie, Spence has thrown a lot of punches in this fight.
Yeah, you know, it can be difficult. You know, hasn't gone 8 rounds before. He's in the 8th round. He got clipped at the end of the last round, a shot that may have hurt him. So, you know, a lot of firsts for Errol Spence. It's part of the learning process, but here with Lartey having just over a minute, I mean, this is his chance to steal the fight here. He's got to get the stoppage. I mean, at this point, he's hopelessly behind.
1 minute left in the fight. And it's been all Lartey finally in the final round here. But Spence has got to have that ring savvy. He's got to know where he stands on the cards, his corner, listen to his corner. And after getting clipped right there at the end of round 7, I mean, the last second, got hit with the right, Paulie pointed out. And here he is in survival mode and trying to get out of here from Sunrise, Florida with a W. 30 seconds left in this fight.
Another good hook by Lartey.
Another one. Spence opening up. He's not backing away. He's not running.
It's just a matter of killing the clock here. Usually he should be using his jab and, you know, killing the clock at this point. Lartey has to go for it, and he has. He has gone for it. You just would have liked to see this from Lartey a lot sooner in the fight.
I don't know what he figured out, but he got more aggressive and started bringing it in round number 8 and got himself a round, but maybe the only one out of the 8.
I tell you, what he figured out is that Errol Spence will respect his power if you clip them right. He says he figured out a little bit late.
Figured it out way late. We'll be back with the judges' decisions in this one. You're watching Golden Boy Boxing on Fox Sports 1. Okay, let's take a look at the final punch stats from this welterweight fight that went the distance. Errol Spence Jr. landed far more punches and threw a lot of punches, and that might have been a telling factor in that final round when he seemed to run out of gas. And no thanks to the right hand he caught at the very last second of round number 7. Errol Spence landing 30% of his punches. He was in against a tough guy, Paulie, and it shows up in the punch stats and the fact that he couldn't get that knockout he's been so accustomed to. Let's take a look at some of that final round action when Lartey woke up.
Oh, here, action from the whole fight. There's that first
There's the whole fight. Let's start the first round. Sorry. Second round here. Working Lartey on the ropes.
Well, and Spence had, you know, moved his hands a lot over the course of the fight. The first time going 8 rounds, he showed that he's in very good shape. You know, a lot of times Lartey would lay on the ropes like this and allow Spence to tee off. And Spence did. Spence obliged him. You know, once in a while Lartey would show some life, throw something back, but again, it was Spence backing him up for the duration of the fight, moving his hands. You know, and here we got to round 7 where Spence had been dominating, and then right at the end of the round gets clipped with a good right hook and actually felt it. Lucky for him, it was the end of the round, though.
All right, let's go get the decision from Joe Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards, and we have a unanimous decision. All 3 judges see it the same, 79-73. For your winner by unanimous decision and still undefeated, Errol the True Spence Jr.
Errol Spence Jr. goes to 9-0, going the distance in an 8-rounder. A very tough challenge for him tonight, but he got the job done, and that's what counts. He learned a lot in there as a professional, facing a tough opponent. He got hit, he got wobbled. Luckily for him, it was right at the end of round 7, and in round 8, he faced a more of a Lartey than we'd seen, but he walks away and keeps that record intact. A good performance for him tonight. His corner's got to be pleased that he was patient, but he kept pounding away, Paulie. He just couldn't